Right, let's take a closer look now at the Trump campaign's legal maneuvering with Edmund Sim from Appleton Luff International Lawyers. So perhaps Mr. Trump's threat of court action, perhaps you can set the record straight and tell us if there is any legal basis for this.
Well, I think the legal basis is there in the law. The issue is whether there are any facts to support the claims made by the Trump campaign. And the second point would be whether any of these claims will have any practical effect on the outcome, because by probably within the next 6 to 8 hours, former Vice President Biden will have built up enough of a lead that any challenges to the vote count will not have any meaningful effect.
So do we really have to wait and see how these numbers play out? Will Trump also have to do the same? Or do you think, or is there any way that he can sort of drag out this process even longer through legal means?
Well, the process can be dragged out. The question will be whether the courts, which are objective and will base their decisions on both the law and the facts, whether they're willing to engage in this kind of long, drawn-out affair. This is not 20 years ago. This is not Bush versus Gore, where we had a limited, frankly, compared to the scope of what's being under challenge now, we had a limited review of 1 or 2 counties in Florida. What the Trump campaign is trying to do is go through wide-scale challenges to various election results, and I'm not sure the courts are willing to entertain that kind of a court action.
And I just want to pivot this back to Asia, and I'm just wondering how concerned should this part of the region be if the presidential outcome in the U.S. is delayed?
Well, the question will be what happens in the interim and during the transition. Again, based on all trends, Vice President Biden will probably be the next president. So the question will be, what will the institutions of the American government do in during this period between the election results and the inauguration? You have to remember, the Republicans did not lose control of the Senate. They're not likely to lose control of the Senate, and they actually increased their presence in the House of Representatives. So the question will be whether the natural institutions, the natural foundational institutions of our American government will reassert themselves. If they do, then there should be very little or relatively no impact on the U.S. activities in Asia.
All right, thanks very much for your insight there, Edmund Sim with Appleton Luff Law.